Well, hey there team, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Worth It Then Worth It Now, an ongoing side project I run here on this channel where I just look at games from yesteryear. Generally speaking, they're not contemporary or in vogue, but I do try and line it up with a sale. It's all in service of me shouting out games that I personally think deserve more of a shout out. So today we're looking at Mini Metro, which is at the time of this video on deep sale, or half price actually. And I've just been chipping away at it. It's actually been 10 years since I played it, according to Steam, to the point where it doesn't remember save files or achievements or anything like that, and no recorded history. But I still, to this day, 10 years later, almost to the day by the look of it, 7th of November it came out, I still hold very fond memories of the hours that I sunk into it, which is probably amplified a bit because these guys, developer and publisher Dinosaur Polo Club, did a follow-up just a couple of years ago called Mini Motorways, which, you know, takes the same aesthetic, the same principle, and moves it from rail-based puzzling to, well, motorway-based puzzling. It iterates upon it. It does everything that you would expect from a sequel, you know, staying on theme and yet twisting the theme and adding more mechanics. It's an actual excellent game, an excellent follow-up. And going back to this, there was a sort of refreshing, reflective moment thinking about how this is kind of simpler. And I wonder if there would be people that just objectively think that the sequel is better because it is iterated upon and more complex, or maybe there is something to be said about the original OG and how it kind of had the formula perfect in the first instance. Regardless, I think they're both great games, and if you're looking at this and you're attracted by the idea of a light, polished, brain teaser, palate cleanser type game, which is to say ultimately you're enjoying what you're seeing on your screen, I would start with this one, Mini Metro. The other one I think is probably on sale if they're, you know, I assume they go on sale together, so maybe you end up picking up both. But start with this. Start with the original recipe, the one that set the stage and is arguably the simpler. I feel like maybe going back to front might leave you wanting if you spoil yourself with the complexity of the second one. Anyway, again, all I'm really saying is one's built upon the other, so one should come before the other. So Mini Metro, it is really cool playing this. It is so basic and simple, and in a time where we have a market flooded with indie games, like I'm obviously an indie enthusiast, I picked this up when it came out, well before I was a YouTuber, and I enjoyed it immensely. But it is one of these things that I talk about, the idea of project creep and scope, and the one thing that is so blatantly missing in so much game development is some sort of project lead or coordinator, someone that understands the idea of biting the pie appropriately and just nailing your chunk of what you choose to make your game. And if anything, it's become a bit of a lost art. What I'm trying to say is this game is not unnecessarily complex, which is a problem that plagues so many things, indie and AAA to this day alike. Like how many AAA games just jam more and more crappy little mini games that are half realized and not really a value add, and they actually come across as bloat that takes away from whatever the core might be. Same as indies that are more tech demos that try and do too many things as opposed to being brilliant at the basics. So yeah, all that is to say, in this, it's pretty straightforward as far as a loop goes. You literally click and drag from point to point and it will make a rail line, and if you've got enough locomotives free, it's sort of a currency, a very gentle currency that you unlock every now and then it will auto allocate a train to the track and he will just start running back and forth from station to station. Controls are incredibly intuitive, right? You draw a loop on itself, it'll create a loop. If you want to remove a track entirely, you can just pull up from the bottom of the bar and click the little X and do so. But you can also sort of unmount stations, for lack of a better term. You just grab a piece of track and then rub it over the existing station that's already part of that loop or line, and it will unconnect it or connect it at that point in between stations. Again, all incredibly intuitive, very much mobile friendly in a time that I think predates mobile games. This, no doubt this has ended up on mobile, but I very much doubt that it came out day and date on mobile. And it's a shame that so many people turn their nose up at what is ultimately just good controlled design that would probably happen to go well on a touchpad as well. Funnily enough, touchpads and mice have a lot in common. Who would have thought? So yeah, you just point to point the stations, allocate trains. There's little tactical and strategic decisions that you can make, like you'll usually start with multiple lines unlocked and they're represented in different colors. And with that, there'll be a locomotive per. But you don't have to use all those lines. In fact, you can draw a big old loop of one line and put all the locomotives on that. And they will kind of frog leap past each other as per the requirements of their current trip, which is to say, you'll have a triangle station or a circle station, and they will start spawning little mini passengers, triangle and circle and square and plus sign and what have you, right? And as your train stops by that station, it will pick them up and it will take them forward to the next one. And, it's got a pretty adaptive, robust AI governing the logic of how the station dropouts work. Because you can pause at any time and you can adjust the station at any time. I suppose the caveat to get around that so you don't accidentally delete passengers being that would be kind of cheating. If a station overfills for too long, a timer will start, and once that reaches full on the clock face, you will fail, right? So deleting passengers might be a luxury that you're not really afforded. But to get around that, if you do change a station layout while a train carriage is mid journey from point A to point B, say, it will grey out, but it will finish that trip before it reallocates onto the new line. So there's no trick in the game. There's no getting around it. But the idea that I could just start slapdashing things, pausing, move things, whatever, and have multiple trips. So let's say a guy's picking up hypothetical circle passengers on the red line, but the red line doesn't touch any circle stations. But it does intersect at a triangle station with a blue line, and that blue line in then turn has further along a square station that intersects with the yellow line or whatever. I'm forgetting what colors my analogy is. But my point is there might be 3 chained trips from point A, circle passenger, to final destination B, circle station. And the game is clever enough for him to pick that guy up in his carriage and run along until he gets to a reasonable intersect drop-off point, and he'll leave the circle dude at like a triangle station so as to be picked up by the next train on the next line. It's fiendishly realised. It's one of those things that just makes you think. Imagine, now don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to look a gift horse in the proverbial. I'm glad that these guys know their work and they've done it well, but imagine if they did extrapolate their really well realized fundamental gameplay design methodology onto a AAA thing where organizing something like this puzzle would be would be the equivalent of lockpicking on a Fallout 3. Just imagine if this level of competency was given a seat at the big table. But you know what? The truth of it is they probably wouldn't want it. Not to, this is all headcanon now, but they clearly know what they want. They've made successful banger after successful banger, probably raked in the cash. And who's to say they're not going to make a mini whatever aeroplanes? That'd make probably the most sense, right? Mini shipping lanes. Doesn't quite roll off the tongue. I'll have to look up and see if they've got more stuff in the pipeline, because you better believe I'd play it day and date, because these guys are great. It's a really good game. It's the best couple of bucks you'll spend this week, that's probably for sure. And yeah, I think I've made my point. Gameplay is pretty basic. You can see it all there. It's intuitive. It's second nature, whether you're a sweat or whether you're a casual. This is quintessential excellence in gameplay design. And the fact that they hit it twice in 2 different sequels with slight changes, but still capturing lightning in the bottle, so to speak. These are the kind of guys that you'd buy stock in if you could. So there you go, high praise. Dinosaur Polo Club Mini Metro. Check it out, pick it up on sale. Team, might just leave it there for the time being, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.